Morning, my dear friends. Myself Mohan. Today I am going to teach second chapter of class 6th. The chapter is component of food. Let us start with the second chapter, component of food. We already know that in our surrounding varieties of living organisms are surviving, such as plants, animals, human beings, so on. Okay, so every living organisms basically they need food, air and water to survive. So without these three things, so no living organisms can survive. So every living organisms need food, air and water. So these three things we can call it as fundamental requirement of all living organisms. So let us, in this chapter we will much focusing about how what is food, how food is useful for us. Okay, so the so on things we will going to study about in this chapter. So first we will understand what is food. See, we know that the food is a material, or we can call it as a food is a substance which will helpful for our growth and development of our body. Yes, so you can see that food is a nutritive substance taken by an organisms for growth, work, repair and maintaining life processes. Food is a kind of fuel for a living things, just as a petrol fuel for our car. In the same way, the food is fuel for our body. That means what? A food is a substance which is very essential for our growth and development of our body. Yes, every living organism, any living organism you take, the food is very essential. What is food? Food is a substance which is helpful for our growth and development. So let us, we will see that where we will get the food. So basically in every living organisms, the food we are getting from either plant source or animal source. So you can see here all living organisms such as plants and animals require food. So food is essential for all living organisms. Most of our food is made up of these things. We get food from plant and animal source. So ultimately every living organisms, the food either we are getting from plant source or else animal source. So look at here, in this picture it's very clearly showing that the foods which are obtained from plants and animal source. You can see banana here, okay, apple is there, orange is there, varieties of fruits were there, varieties of vegetables are there. You can also see meat, chicken, okay, so fish. So that means in this chart you can understand that the food is obtained from plant and animal source. So now so why we need to eat food? The question that is coming to our mind is why we need to eat food. So basically we need to eat food for because of our growth. Suppose our we need to grow, okay, we need to grow our means physically as well as mentally. So basically we need to eat food, so it will helpful for our growth. Okay, you can see the pictures here. And also food will also helpful for to provide energy. If you are eating food, it provides energy to carry out that our life processes, such as whatever, if you want to do that work, you require energy. So how this energy we will get it? This energy basically we are getting from the food. And apart from that, it to be healthy, that means what? Food help us to be healthy. That means suppose if you are get injured, your body get injured, you are suffering from some diseases, you are suffering from some health problems. So to recover from health problems, okay, basically you need to have food. So ultimately, so the question that is coming to our mind is why we need to eat food. We need to eat food because we will get energy from the food. So our growth and development is taking place because of the food, okay. And whatever that injuries are taking place in living organisms in our body, so these injuries for recovering, so we need to take the food. Okay, that is what here it's clearly shown that. Okay, so next so next question it is coming to our mind is, so what is this food contain? So basically the food contain nutrients. What is food contain? Food contain nutrients. What is this nutrient means? And nutrients are the substance. Okay, again that the nutrients are the substance or which are present in the food which is helpful for our growth and development. Such as means nutrients means basically there are five nutrients are there. Such as one is carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamins and minerals. Even roughage also they are included, but actually roughage will not going to provide any kind of nutrients. Roughage is only useful for just what I can say that just it will becomes useful for to digest our food. Okay, so let us we will see that what are nutrients. Nutrients are component of food. Let us we will see that what are nutrients. See, there are different types of nutrients present in our food. These are also called component of food. That component of food only we can call it as nutrient. What are those component of food? Carbohydrate is a component of food. Protein is a component of food. Fats is a component of food. Vitamins and minerals is a component of food. And water and roughage. These are we can call it as components of food. Let us we will going to see how these components of food will becomes useful in our body. First, carbohydrate. See, carbohydrate we can call it as energy giving food. Suppose if you want to do some any kind of work, what is required? You require energy. So which kind of food will give that energy? Carbohydrates. Okay, carbohydrate is a nutrient, is a type of nutrients which gives energy. So that's why we can call it as carbohydrate is a energy giving food. Okay, so basically carbohydrates are three types. Okay, so we are getting the three types of carbohydrates are present, such as one is that simple sugar, second is starch and cellulose. Okay, so I will tell you about that what are the different types of carbohydrates and how it will becomes useful. Okay, so what is carbohydrates? Carbohydrate is a type of nutrients which provides energy to our body. Okay, so that means what, which are the food basically which are contain carbohydrates? Okay, basically carbohydrate food contains is suppose wheat we are talking about, rice we can talking about. So these wheat, rice, basically they are rich in carbohydrates. Carbohydrate is essential for every living organism, that may be plants, that may be animals. Okay, so what is this carbohydrate contain? The carbohydrates contain glucose. There are three types of carbohydrates are there. The first carbohydrate is simple sugar, second carbohydrate is starch, third carbohydrate is cellulose. Okay, all carbohydrate is basically is made up of with the glucose. So what is glucose contain? Glucose contain energy. Okay, so we need to eat the food carbohydrate will be digested, it will give either simple sugar to our body, either it will give starch to our body. Then after this starch and sugar, it will becomes breakdown and it releases glucose, and ultimately glucose will give energy to our body. Okay, that's why we need to eat carbohydrate food. Okay, so next if you want to see that basically what are the sources of food which contain the carbohydrates. See, carbohydrate, if you want to see that in this picture, you can see that varieties of food will be there. So basically we are consider as carbohydrates. We will see that how carbohydrates will become, what are the food source which contain carbohydrates. Okay. See, the carbohydrates mainly they provide instant energy to our body. Glucose is present in the form of starch and sugar. See, look at here, rice. Rice is rich in carbohydrates. So we can make varieties of dishes in rice, such as lemon rice, you can see that, plain rice, you can see that, vegetable biryani, you can see that. Basically, these rice items which are rich in carbohydrate. Second, you can see wheat. Okay, you can see roti, you can see that. Okay, so other wheat product, you can see that wheat also they are rich in carbohydrates. Next, potato and sweet potato. So basically potato and sweet potato also rich in carbohydrates, such as which carbohydrates may present, especially rice and wheat which are contain starch. When you are coming to sweet potato and potato also contain starch, but sweet potato which contain sugar as well as starch in it. maize and sugarcane. Basically maize and sugarcane also which are contained in carbohydrates. Next, coming to that second type of nutrients, that is protein. So first one everyone is understood. The first one is carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is essential for every living organisms because carbohydrate is a energy giving food. Okay, what are the sources of carbohydrates? The sources of carbohydrates such as rice, maize, okay, wheat, okay, then sugarcane, sweet potato. So these food items basically they are rich in carbohydrate. So how many types of carbohydrates are there? There are three types of carbohydrates. Which are those? First one is simple sugar, second one is starch, and third one is cellulose. Okay, so one thing you need to understand, cellulose will not going to digest in our body, so we can only digest the simple sugar and starch. Okay, so already I told you the sources of carbohydrate. Okay, so next we will move on to the second nutrients, that is protein. Proteins are also is a type of nutrients. Basically we can call it as protein is an bodybuilding foods. Proteins ko we can call it as bodybuilding foods because it will repair our damaged part of cells. Suppose any injured part are there in your body. Suppose if you want to develop your muscles, basically if you want to growth and development of your muscles, so you need to consume protein. Okay, so protein is a type of nutrients. Also we can call it as bodybuilding foods. Okay, so what is the sources of protein? We will going to see the protein. So basically the protein contain foods such as meat is rich in proteins, eggs are rich in proteins, milk is rich in proteins. Okay, then almonds are rich in proteins. Okay, sprouts, they are rich in proteins. We will see that. Yeah, so meat of animals such as goat, chicken, fish and prawns are basically rich in proteins. And apart, suppose if you are vegetarians, then you can go for this, the pulses, that all varieties of pulses, that is also rich in proteins. And apart from sprouts, basically they are rich in proteins. Okay, pulses and sprout basically they are rich in proteins. Next, okay, so what is the use of protein? A protein is basically useful for to develop your muscles. If your growth and development of your body, that is because of the protein. Protein also a type of nutrients. Next, coming to the fats. So basically the fats are also very important for us. Okay, so fat also it's a kind of nutrient. Okay, so if you want to see that how fats will becomes useful for us, so these fats also we can call it as energy giving food, but you know it will give huge amount of energy at very slowly it will give to our body. Okay, did you understand? So fats also energy giving food. Okay, so if you want to see that then when fats will use that energy to our body, suppose imagine when carbohydrates are not there in your body. Okay, means when you are not going to consume carbohydrates, whatever the energy is it gets over, then fats basically which is present in our body, and that means when we are consuming fats also providing energy. Okay, ultimately you need to understand, whereas carbohydrates also energy giving food, fats also energy giving food. So if you want to see the sources of fat, so fish contain fats, cheese, butter, dairy products such as cheese, butter, ghee, okay, curd. Okay, so these food items, oily food items, junk food items, basically they are rich in fats. And fats are also important for in our body because fats also helpful for to give energy to our body. Second thing, whatever the vitamins we are taking that in our body, those vitamins are digested in our body. So fats will be helpful for to digest that vitamins in our body. Okay, understood? What is fat? So Fats are also energy giving food. So basically that fat, it will stored energy. So when energy is gets over in our body, the fats are releasing energy. Okay, the sources of fats in the food items, you can see that like a nuts basically also they contain fats, cheese, butter, even that in the fish, meat. Okay, so these food items basically they contain fats. Next we will move on to that another type of nutrients. Yeah, so you can see before going to the another, you can see that the fat rich food items, such as you can see that cheese are there, chocolates are there, coconut oil is there. Okay, and you can see that here also many avocado, okay, peanut oil, okay, cashew, okay, corn oil, olive oil, especially most of the oils which are contain fats. Okay, let us we will going to study that next type of nutrient. Okay, sorry for that. And before going to that, we will study about obesity. Suppose, see, every living organisms they need fat. Suppose if you are consuming fats too much in our body, it leads to the obesity. Did you understand what is an obesity means? Obesity means if you are consuming too much fats into your body, that leads to the obesity. Obesity is a generally caused by eating too much and moving too little. Okay, if you consume high amount of energy, particularly fat and sugar, but do not burn off the energy through exercise and physical activity, much of the surplus energy will be stored by the body as a fat. Suppose if you are consuming fats, okay, if you are consuming too much of carbohydrate, too much of fats, then what will happen? We need to be do the workouts. Suppose if you are not going to be utilize that energy, because if you imagine we are intaking of carbohydrates such as fats and carbohydrate. Okay, after intaking about that, what we need to do, we need to after digestion that it releases the energy. So those energy if you are not going to use, so it will stored in our body and it will converted as an obese person. Okay, that's why you can consume fat and carbohydrate is needed, but too much of fats and carbohydrate if you are consuming, that leads to the obesity. So that once if the obesity is happens in your body, okay, that means your weight will be increases. Okay, second things what will happen, it's very tough to means many diseases will going to be occur. Okay, so we will not be healthy. So that's why, so sufficient amount of carbohydrate and sufficient amount of fats we need to consume. Understood? Yeah, otherwise too much fat consumes, it leads to obesity. Next type of nutrients, that is vitamins. See, vitamins is very important nutrients in our body. Once if you are consuming vitamins, so vitamins, suppose any diseases are entering our body, or if you want to maintain a good health, so basically that vitamins plays an important role. Okay, so vitamins are helpful for to protect from the diseases. Okay, second things, vitamins help us to gives glowness in our body. Vitamins is helpful for the skin, okay, to develop our skins. Okay, so if you want to maintain good healthiness, vitamins also plays an important role. You can see that vitamins help in protecting our body against diseases, and they also keep our eyes, bones, teeth and gums healthy. Okay, so there are two types of vitamins are there. One is water soluble vitamins, second one is fat soluble vitamins. That means, suppose if you eat vitamin content food, okay, so some of the vitamins what will happens, it will dissolve in water. Okay, then it will becomes useful for us. Some certain vitamins are there, they are dissolving in fats. It's not like that all the vitamins are dissolving in water. Certain vitamins only it will dissolve in water, and certain vitamins are dissolving fat. So let us we will see that which are the vitamins are dissolving in water and which are the vitamins are dissolving in fat. The water soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins is vitamin B, vitamin C. Vitamin B and vitamin C are basically water soluble vitamins. And if you are come to the fat soluble vitamins, fat soluble vitamins means vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. It's not showing here. So these are fat soluble vitamins. But these are, I am talking about types of vitamins. Vitamins are two types: water soluble vitamins and fat soluble vitamins. So okay, understood. Okay, next we will see the sources of the vitamins. See, vitamins are basically which is present in all kinds of vegetables. All kind of vegetables contain vitamins, and all kind of fruits contain vitamins. Okay, all kind of spices, okay, cereals, they contain vitamins. So vitamins are also very very important in our body to become healthy and to protect from the diseases. Okay, so after understanding about that vitamins, so then I will move on to that the next type of nutrients, that is minerals. So minerals also we can call it as type of nutrients. Okay, basically minerals also helpful for to give strength our body, and also it our growth and development for our body. This mineral also plays an important role. You can see what are the different type of minerals are there. Iron is a one type of mineral, calcium, phosphorus, potassium, iodine, sodium, fluorine. These are the major nutrients, especially iron. Iron, you can call it as iron mineral, which is very very essential for to give good strength for your body. Okay, so next, what are the food items iron contain? If you are talking about jaggery, if you are eating jaggery, okay, if you are eating certain kind of millets, okay, you will get that minerals. Drink, okay, good water, okay, plenty of water you drink. In water also they contain mineral. Okay, and coming to the calcium, calcium also one kind of minerals. Basically calcium which is rich in eggs, which is rich in milk. Basically calcium rich in milk. Okay, that's why please consume milk. So milk gives good calcium to your body. Next, phosphorus. Phosphorus, which is basically which is present in banana, fish and eggs. And potassium, also mineral, which is present in carrot, okay, capsicum, okay, then you can call it as other fruits. And iodine basically which is present in seafood such as fish, okay, and prawns, okay, crabs. Basically these food items, they are rich in iodine contents. So iodine is also very very essential for our growth and development. And next, sodium also, which is food in that meat, okay, fish, etc. And then fluorine which is also which is contained in water as well as in tea, which is contain the fluorine. Okay, then these are the main you can call it as nutrient. So please note down, nutrients are basically five types. One is that fat, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and minerals. Okay, these are the five essential type of nutrients. Understood everyone? Which are those? Carbohydrates we can call it as energy giving food. Okay, there are three type of carbohydrates are there, such as simple sugar, starch and cellulose. Okay, so what is the use of carbohydrate in our body? Carbohydrates gives energy to our body. Okay, second one, protein. So protein also type of nutrients, and protein we can call it as bodybuilding foods. Okay, so what is the role of proteins in our body? Protein help us to build our muscle. Okay, so what are the sources of protein? Proteins are rich in meats, okay, chicken, mutton, okay, eggs, milk, okay, pulses. And coming to the fats, fats also we can call it as energy giving food. It is also stored in our body. So whenever that all the energies gets over in our body, so fats are releasing energy. In that way it will becomes useful. Second things, Fats are useful, suppose whenever you are getting injured, okay, so this injury is protected from the fats. And the last one is vitamins. So vitamins are also very very important nutrients in our body. Vitamins are helpful for protecting from diseases, okay, and also you can see, if you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, so you need to consume vitamins and even minerals. Vitamins and minerals both are helpful for to protecting from diseases, and also which is helpful for to healthy lifestyle. Okay, so these are the five essential nutrients in our body. It will becomes helpful. These nutrients are basically present in the food items. Apart from the nutrients, we can also call it as water. Water also plays an important role in our body. So water helps to what we can call it as to digest our food, okay, and also water provides mineral to our body. Especially water is helpful for transfer that whatever the nutrients are, after digested it is releases in our body. So it is helpful for to transferring that minerals or nutrients from one place to the another. Okay, so basically water also very very important for us, because water is helpful for to digest the food, one thing, and also it will helpful for transporting the nutrients. Okay, see, let us we can see that of our weight is water. That means if you want to see that our whole body, okay, maximum of our body weight is consumed by water. So what is the use of water? Water enables you to swallow and digest the food. Okay, yes, of course, water is helpful for to swallowing and to digest our food. Water will be helpful. Second one, water absorb other nutrients and eliminate waste. So water also helpful for to absorbing the nutrients in our body to the cells. And second things, which is also useful for whatever that waste materials are there, to removing that waste materials, water plays an important role. The typical suggestion is we must drink 6 to 8 glass of water every day. Yes, of course, every day minimum 6 to 8 glass of water we need to drink. That means approximately at least minimum 3 to 4 liters of water we need to consume. That will be helpful to lead a good life. Okay, apart from the water, okay, we can also read roughage. So everyone will get what is roughage means. Roughage means we can call it as dietary fibers. Suppose if you are eating the fruits, after eating that fruits you will get like a thread like structures which is present in that vegetables. When you are chewing that food items, you will feel that some thread like structures which is present in vegetable, fruits, and other food items. Basically these we are call it as a roughage. Roughage is not a nutrient, please note down. Roughage is not a nutrient, but roughage is only helpful for to digest our food. How water is helpful for to digest our food, the same way roughage is also helpful for to digest the food. The another name for roughage is dietary fibers. So please consume rich dietary fibers contain food, such as eat vegetables, because vegetables are rich in dietary fibers. Eat fruits are rich in dietary fibers. These dietary fibers are helpful for to digest the food. Next, coming to the balanced diet. So what is balanced diet means? Suppose balanced diet means what? If you are consuming all type of nutrients in a right quantity, okay, that food items we can call it as balanced diet. So every living organisms, especially human beings, we need to consume balanced diet. When your balanced diet means the food items which contain adequate amount of carbohydrate, adequate amount of protein, adequate amount of fats, adequate amount of mineral, adequate amount of vitamins. If you consume that, if that food items contain these adequate amount, means a proper amount of nutrients are present in the food, that particular food we can call it as balanced diet. So if everyone is consuming balanced diet in our life, so we will become much more healthier. So we need have little all kinds of food every day to get all the nutrients and roughage etc. This type of diet is called balanced diet. Okay, the balanced diet should contain 50% of carbohydrate, 35% of fats, 12% of protein, 3% of vitamins and minerals, sufficient amount of water. These are, we can call it as dietary balanced diet. Balanced diet is very important if you want to be keep your health will be healthier. Okay, suppose imagine if we are not going to be consume proper balanced diet food, then what will happens to us? If you are not going to consume proper balanced diet, okay, it will leads to several problems. Okay, several disease will going to occur. Suppose I am not going to consume fats, I am not going to consume vitamins, I am not going to consume what we can call it as minerals. So then what will happens? I am undergo some health issues. So today many people are suffering that health issues. Why they are suffering health issues? Because they are not consuming proper balanced diet. So that's why they are going to suffer it. Okay, so let us, we will going to see if you are not going to consume proper balanced diet, so what are the problems will going to be faced. Suppose if you are not going to consume vitamin A. So vitamin A is a type of vitamin. So if you are not going to consume vitamin A food items properly, then we will going to suffer from the which disease? Loss of vision. Loss of vision is taking place due to what we can call it as when you are not going to consume vitamin A. So what will happen? What are the symptoms? Suppose once if you are suffering from loss of visions, that means due to you are not consuming proper vitamin A. So what are the symptoms of loss of visions? Poor visions. You cannot able to see the things properly. Okay, second thing, the loss of visions in the darkness. When you are in the dark time, you will not going to be seen properly. Okay, that is the problem. Then maybe that if you are too much deficiency of vitamin A, it leads to that complete loss of vision. Maybe in the future you may lose your eyes. Okay, so that's why please consume vitamin A. Vitamin A means apple. Okay, you can fish, you can eat. Okay, then you can eat that varieties of fruits, varieties of vegetables, so that contain vitamin A. So coming to the vitamin B. So basically vitamin B, we can call it as okay, so okay, so understood. So we are discussing about vitamin B. So basically we are discussing about vitamin B na. So vitamin B1 also is a type of vitamin. Okay, so if you are deficiency of vitamin B1, then you will going to suffer from the disease beriberi. Okay, so basically this beriberi disease symptoms, if you want to see that, the weakness of muscles, okay, and very little energy to work. So the person who is suffering from beriberi disease, so his muscle will becomes weak, and also he means the person is unable to do the work properly because due to weakness. Okay, so please consume vitamin B1 food items. Vitamin B1 means like rice, wheat, okay, means fruits and vegetables. If you are consuming these kind of foods, so you can avoid this beriberi disease. Next, if you are suffering from suppose if deficiency of vitamin C. Okay, so what are the problems will going to be faced today? You can, everybody you can see that. So vitamin C means citrus fruits, basically means many fruit items, basically the sour food items, they contains vitamin C. So vitamin C is very very important, so we need to consume the vitamin C. If you are not going to consume vitamin C, then we will going to face the problem such as scurvy. Scurvy is the disease which is caused from vitamin C. So what are the problem, what are the symptoms of scurvy? So bleeding gums. So suppose the person who is suffering from scurvy, the person is bleeding is taking place from that his mouth, okay, because the gums and all, the teeth is attached with the gums. So these gums basically it will becomes weak, so that's why what will happen that it will started to bleeding is taking place. So the person who is suffering from deficiency of vitamin C, so the bleeding of gums, bleeding we can see from the gums, and wounds takes longer time to heal. Suppose whenever the person is gets injured any of the body parts, it take too much time to recover, okay. So that is the problems they are going to face. That's why please consume vitamin C, such as orange you can consume, lemon you can consume, okay, then pineapple. See, these all food items, sour food items, mango. So these food items basically they contain vitamin C. So next type of vitamin, that is vitamin D. So vitamin D we can call it as rickets. Rickets disease is caused from vitamin D, okay. So what will happen, suppose if vitamin D is deficiency of vitamin D, so deficiency, once if the deficiency of vitamin D, it leads to rickets. So ricket is a disease. So if you want to see that some symptoms of rickets, you can see that bone will becomes bent, the bone will becomes weak, okay. That person bone, if it is bent, that person is suffering from the rickets. Especially the rickets is, we can see from that small children's, okay, where malnutrition is taking place. Malnutrition means the persons which are not those persons, those children are not consuming proper vitamins, the person is suffering from this disease. Next, coming to the calcium. Calcium is a mineral, you know. So if the person is deficiency of calcium, that person also suffering from weak bones and weak teeth, okay. Weak bone and weak teeth is basically suffering from calcium, okay. So consume calcium content food, such as everyday drinks 1 glass of milk, okay. Eggs you can consume, okay, and also many other varieties of vegetables are there if you consume, so that you will get the calcium. So next type of new minerals we can talk about iodine. So iodine is very very essential for that. If you are not consuming proper iodine, then you will going to suffer from goiter disease. The goiter disease is caused from iodine, okay. So what will happen, goiter means from the neck part, that swallow part you can see from the in your neck, that is due to goiter. Goiter is suffering from deficiency of iodine. So you can see the symptoms, glands in the neck appear swollen, and mental disability in children. Suppose if you are not consuming proper iodine, and especially in the children's, the children's are the slow growth we can see, mentally they are will become weak, okay, and they will going to face many thyroids problems in the future, okay. So that means everybody is understood. Suppose if you are not going to consume a balanced diet, okay, then you will going to suffering from deficiency disease. Deficiency disease means if you are not going to consume proper nutrients, then you will going to face the disease. That disease we can call it as deficiency disease. See, other deficiency disease also will be there, that is marasmus and Kwashiorkor. So these two diseases are also deficiency of proteins and deficiency of carbohydrates. Especially you can see that malnutrition if you go to the South Africa, if you go to the Nigeria, so different parts of our country, those children basically they will not get proper balanced diet food. So that's why you can see their body structure, it will becomes entirely different. In the small age only they are suffering from those diseases, because in those countries they are not getting proper food. That's why they are suffering from those diseases, okay. Hope so everybody is understand about that the second chapter, component of food. So if you are facing any problems, whatever the doubts, if you are not understanding any concept, you can contact me. Thank you.